The Pirates of Darkwater set sail for your Genesis back in 1994. Developed by Iguana Entertainment, Pirates of Darkwater was based on the Hanna-Barbera cartoon of the same name. If you're unfamiliar with the Pirates of Darkwater, then don't feel too bad, since even us kids that watched cartoons back then barely cared about it, and it only lasted 2 seasons before it was cancelled. But it at least managed to get a couple of games released for the Super NES and Genesis before it was tossed off TV. The Super NES game is actually completely different from the Genesis version. Developed by Sunsoft instead of Iguana, the Super NES game was a pretty boring brawler that isn't worth spending too much time on. It followed the standard formula of every brawler out at the time, which was just beating the hell out of everything you see on the screen and make it to a boss and then just do it all over again until the credits rolled eventually. It moved way too slow, looked and sounded awful, and was sadly not even worth a pity rental. The Genesis version, however, is a much more interesting game, and that's the one we'll be taking a look at today. So was Pirates of Darkwater a worthy representation of a show that got cancelled before its time? Or was this just another licensed pile of shit that was based on a lame TV show that was destined for the clearance bin? Well, put on your favorite eye patch and pirate hat, because we're about to see if these pirates can stay above water. Start up Pirates of Darkwater and you're met with a lengthy story cinematic explaining the whole Darkwater thing and how it's slowly destroying everything it comes into contact with. It's all fairly standard kids fantasy stuff, with a dying father telling the main hero Rin that he has to stop the Darkwater by collecting 13 lost treasures scattered around the planet. To do this, he'll need to enlist the help of 2 other pirates, Tula and Ayaz, along with a talking bird thing called Niddler for that all-important comic relief. By far the coolest thing about the cartoon, though, was its unique and colorful sci-fi pirate setting, and it's in full effect in the game's opening cinematic along with that classic Hanna-Barbera art style in tow. Still though, this story here probably won't make you want to run out and watch the cartoon series anytime soon. After you've dealt with the backstory and are thoroughly ready to start messing up some Darkwater, go ahead and press start to get into the action. Before you begin though, you'll need to select your character from one of the 3 main heroes. Rin's a good all-around character, but doesn't really excel in any one area. Tula is of course the fastest of the bunch and has speedier attacks, but can't swing her weapon as far as the other 2 characters. Ayaz is the brute strength of the bunch, with a huge sword to swing at enemies, but he doesn't have the mobility of the other 2. Pick whoever suits your playstyle the most, or just whoever you think looks the most piratey, and then finally get ready to get into the game and start finding those lost treasures. Once you start, you're met with a much different game than what was presented on the Super NES. Instead of a by-the-numbers brawler, you get a side-scrolling action game here. But is it any better? Well, at the very least, you've got a game trying to do a little bit more than just aspiring to be a generic beat-em-up. Learning the ropes is easy enough, as each character can jump around the screen, swing their weapon, or activate whatever item they have selected at the time, which can be anything from a secondary weapon to keys to unlock doors. Dealing with enemies is nothing more than slashing at them with your weapon of choice or by getting close enough and tossing them out of the way. If you have a secondary weapon selected, it'll shoot out in front of you, killing anything that comes into contact with it in one hit. Besides killing enemies, you'll need to make your way around the multi-level stages using your platforming abilities. Climbing up walls, jumping onto moving platforms, and finding your way to the exit is probably what you'll be doing most of your time while you're playing Pirates of Darkwater, since many of the stages have multiple paths to explore and can get pretty big. Also, Pirates of Darkwater is a huge fan of stage obstacles, so get ready to be dodging and jumping over stuff like falling rocks and slime-filled puddles. For the most part, you've got your standard action platform game here, but Pirates of Darkwater does at least have one neat little trick up its sleeve. Every stage you enter in the game has you meeting up with a character that has a sort of quest for you to accomplish. Some are as simple as just getting through the stage, but others actually introduce some light RPG questing into the game, like finding keys to open doors or collecting enough gold for someone to let you pass through. Sometimes there are multiple characters per stage that require you to do stuff for them, so it's not always about finding the exit as quickly as possible. Many times the objectives will send you exploring all over the stage in order to find what you need, and it's actually pretty fun to accomplish. It definitely gives the game more character than it probably deserves, as you'll be talking to tons of NPC characters along the way, and it really makes the game feel more alive and populated by doing so. Sadly, even though Pirates of Darkwater on the Genesis is a better game than the Super NES version, it still isn't very fun to play. There are definitely times where it can be fun to explore and complete objectives, but then the controls, combat, and just about everything else is there to get in the way of whatever fun you may have been having. First off, your character has one of the strangest jumps I've ever seen. It feels floaty and heavy at the same time somehow, making even the simplest jumps a gamble if you're not paying attention. The game also has everyone's favorite platform game sin, and that being fall damage. Yes, fall too far in a stage and you'll find yourself flat on your face and then teleported back to the last surface you were standing on. Combine that with the huge multi-level stages and you've got a recipe for throwing your controller at your cat in a fit of rage. Last but not least, this is also one of those games where you seem to take way too much damage from any hit, which is fine for a game that doesn't constantly have enemies jumping at you or things falling on top of you, but Pirates of Darkwater isn't that game, so expect to be dying a lot. It all adds up to make a thoroughly frustrating game that just can't stop getting in its own way, which really sucks since Pirates of Darkwater could have been a genuinely neat game. Much like the cartoon series though, Pirates of Darkwater just can't keep your attention long enough, even with the cool ideas it throws into the game. The whole questing aspect is ingenious, and it blows my mind that so few games back then ever used it. It seemed like a natural fit, especially in games like this that like to use these large, multi-level stage designs. Even with the light questing though, there's just too many problems with the game to really stick with it for very long before you get annoyed and turn it off. It constantly makes you want to scream obscenities at the TV every single time you miss a simple jump or get hit yet again by another cheap enemy that was off screen. While I appreciate Iguana for doing something different for the Genesis, Pirates of Darkwater just has too many leaks and holes to stay afloat. Unfortunately for these pirates, I'd probably rather drown in actual black water than play this game again.